Starting today's read with a quote from Walking the Way of Harriet Tubman, by Therese Taylor-Stinson. I'm just gonna shuffle the pages. In my own life, water is a sacred symbol. It is a symbol cultivated by 5 baptisms that occurred in my life. My first as an infant in a historically Black Catholic church in Washington, D.C., my second in a non-denominational African-American church in the city where I was baptized along with my 7-year-old daughter by immersion. My other 3 baptisms were symbolic, preparing for a women's retreat in my Presbyterian denomination, where I remain at the time of this writing. I was sharing my story, which led me to tears. Our preparation facilitator proclaimed, "Your tears are your baptism." My 4th baptism, when I was installed as moderator for National Capital Presbytery, had me making the sign of the cross on others near the end of the ceremony with water from a baptismal font. The overarching theme was baptism rather than the traditional service of communion. My 5th baptism was in the Sea of Galilee, along the shores where Jesus called the first disciples. The water was clear and crisp and teeming with small fish. My somewhat reluctant baptizer once again affirmed my original baptism. Many other water themes populate my journey to freedom, including the command to pick up my bed and walk, which was given to the man at the healing pool of Bethesda. In my own struggle for internal freedom, I have many times felt stuck and depressed as I struggle to find my true self and my freedom from the opinion of others. During the times of struggle, a scripture would illuminate my position. Those moments have taught me to recognize what is genuine in myself. Harriet made 3 attempts to freedom, but returned each time because of fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of dying, the fear of never seeing her family again or being part of a vital community. Fear can be debilitating. Overcoming debilitating fear brings a new sense of freedom and a focus to accomplish your goal, though the struggle that ensues may seem like only a first step for some. To escape your enslavers is to take ownership of your own life. That is not just a physical or intellectual achievement. It is an emotional achievement that changes how you view yourself and how you allow others to view you. Okay. Amazing. Standing upright, strong and without question, no doubt in my being, I just am, wondrous and divine, no boundaries, flowing with all that is, I am. Okay, so the flowing with all that is, and that was about water as a sacred symbol. So when I was in India, I had a teacher who spoke about water, like the spiritual significance and how to embody water. I think there were 7 principles of water that we could embody like spiritually in our own lives. One of them was to be soft like water. One of them was to be like to take the shape of the things, like water takes the shape of the things that you put it in. Another was to be nourishing like water, be sweet like water, be transparent, show your emotions just like water, transparency, flowing like water. Okay, so all this talk about water, and then we have fire. There's a lot of fire. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. Fire, fire, fire. Okay. Communication makes things move faster. There's a need to stand up for yourself or defend what's right. There's new beginnings coming that are passionate, that are exciting, but it's hard work. Water. So as I was like preparing for this reading, I was putting the cards here and then feeling like there's kind of an empty space here in terms of the tarot. Obviously now there's oracle cards here. But I was thinking of like the doshas, the Indian doshas, and I was thinking about how each person has a different temperament, and some can be like more hot, and some are more cold, and some are more dry, and some are more like wet. So I was also thinking about how some people are like more hot, like blooded or tempered, and some are more cold-blooded or tempered, and then how that kind of translates. I'm not sure why, but I was thinking of all that. And so I'm seeing water as like the more cold, specifically because of like the coloring, like the blue, right, versus the hot of the fire of the wands. So we have the, what is this, Knight of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Three of Coins. The positioning of it is important to me. So there's something being hidden here. What's hidden is what you're committed to. We're talking about freedom with this book, baptism and freedom and the fear that you have to face in order to get free. And a friend of mine who actually has a channel on YouTube as well did a reading where she mentioned something about what was it like, she asked a question, what was it like the first time you learned how to swim? That kind of passage. Sanctuary, I believe this is High Priestess, card 2. And the standing strong in your own being without question. I just am. No boundaries, flowing with all that is. No boundaries as a good thing, because we often see boundaries as something positive, but here it's like no boundaries. I'm flowing with all that is. I just am. And it's taking me back to a passage I read in a book. I mean, I don't have it handy. I'm not going to stop the video for this, but I'll summarize it very vaguely. About not like knocking your head against a wall when you're trying to figure something out. About learning how to kind of raise your energy, raise your vibration, and then flow through it. And then there was a day where I was like thinking about fish and how fish, in order to survive in the deep ocean, they have to survive all kinds of animals, all kinds of dangers. They learn how to camouflage, how to disappear. They learn how to behave in all kinds of ways in order to ensure their survival. But here we're talking about freedom. We're not really thinking of survival, we're thinking about freedom. So back to these cards, there's something that you need to give of yourself in order to commit, and it goes into your emotions, but it also goes into what you're able to transform, or how it is that you transform through your emotions. Like all that is visible are your emotions, but your emotions are hiding these deeper passions, and these deeper passions are hiding a contract, something you've committed to, something that you're loyal to. And maybe part of becoming free is airing out your loyalties. Like there's parts of yourself that have become dormant that you kind of need to bring back on air so that you can see what they're about. You can bring them back online, I mean, not on air, to see what they're actually about. True abundance is an inside job. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me. It's not easy. And it's not really giving answers this time. It feels like more questions than answers, but it also feels like it's just saying it's time. It's time to stand up for what you believe in. It's time to start those projects or to start those experiences in your life that you're passionate about. It's time to work hard for what you want, day in, day out, until you get it. It's time to shine your light. It's time to really look carefully at what it is you're committed to and why it is you're loyal to the things you are and how you can become more alive, more connected, and to communicate openly from a place of possibility. Not from a place where you've already shut yourself off and barred yourself and closed yourself in a small, tight, confined space. And then you're thinking, well, now I need to come out. How am I going to get out? I need to fight. It's not like that. It's, I'm not going to even see the wall. I'll create a door if I need to. And then you're coming from a space of enthusiasm and excitement and the will to live, the will to try, the will to imagine a different way. So if you think of like visionaries throughout history who've done like important things, they were able to reach those levels of intellectual insight or foresight because they weren't bound by their reality. The reality may have told them a different story. For instance, you're a woman, you're Black, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skill set, you don't have the resources. You're not living in the right time, you're not living in the right era. No one's going to believe your work. Everyone's mocked you. Albert Einstein was called stupid by his teachers. Like, there's so many stories like that. And then you find that they're not bound by reality because their reality sees beyond their current circumstances. And that's how I'm reading this. But it's really difficult to get there. So this isn't like showing us how to do it. It's just kind of saying, it's time. Thanks for watching.